All right. Hello, people. Welcome back to Tea Time Talk. As usual, I am your host for the show. My name is Fritz. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've had a lovely week, and thank you yet again for listening in for another radio show. I hope that it will be a good show this time around. So, a few things to go through before we begin the introduction of who's with us today. Again, if you want to join the conversation, you are more than welcome to use the hashtag LCRTTTalk. We have a tweet wall where you can tell us what you think of what we're saying. If you want to get involved in what we're saying, then you're more than welcome to join us for that. Also, any opinion that is stated on the show is that of our own. It doesn't reflect the radio show or the university. Those are just our opinions. So just in case any controversial statements are made or opinions are made, they don't reflect anyone but us or the person who says it. And I guess that's pretty much that. So let me begin by welcoming my guests. So we have the usual guests. We have Nezar.
How are you, Fritz?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Sad that it's our last one.
Of the year.
Yeah.
We have Reuben.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, good. And we have Matt.
Hey,
Matt is back.
I am.
He wasn't a one-trick pony. He came back.
He's a permanent member.
Maybe.
I'm a permanent pony.
He's a permanent. So,
I have several questions.
welcome to the show. So again, if this is your first time listening in, what we spend the first half doing is that we go through the news of the week, news stories that we've picked out, and then in the second half we tend to discuss more things that are of interest to us. So, gentlemen, what do we have? Do we have any news stories, or should I start? What are we thinking here?
Oh, if you got a nice topic to talk about, let's go with that.
Well, I
Unless,
guess.
of course, anyone wants to.
Does anyone have anything?
No, feel free.
No? Right. So let's start off with a big controversial one. So, an article posted on The Week, it's a news website, is asking, should British ISIS fighters be hunted and killed? So, what the article is saying is that Britons who flee to Iraq and Syria to join IS or Islamic State, do you think that they should be hunted down and killed, or that they should be brought back to the country and put on trial? So, what do you think in regards to that?
I would say definitely brought back and trialed. Definitely. Killing is a bit extreme, I would say. But yeah, no, definitely hunted down. Definitely. And definitely trialed.
Okay. What about you, Matt?
Well, I'm not so keen on hunting down part. I mean, obviously the trial part is the important distinction between like a good democratic system and like a barbaric system. If you're just killing someone on sight, then they're not being allowed the justice that they have, like that they are allowed to as a human. But at the same time, it's like if they're making no attempt to come back to Britain, what's the point of even going after them? I mean, if they're just going to stay in the states, like where they are being trained, then like just leave them to it. Like they're not especially if you're the British government, then your priority is to keeping the British people safe. And if they can't get back to Britain, if they're not coming back to Britain, then the British people are supposedly safe.
Okay. What about you, Nezar?
It's a heavy topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
To start with. And of course you shouldn't. I mean, okay. I guess a lot of people would probably be like, it's okay to, hunt them down and kill them. Obviously, a fair trial, I think everyone's, deserves a fair trial. I'd say that if they're going to get caught, obviously capture them and, we have to give them a fair trial. If it's the case where, they're giving them a bit of a resistance, like they're fighting back and stuff like that, or, but that's a very extreme situation that I doubt would happen. So I definitely say capture, give them fair trial, see how it goes from there.
But what in the cases where you can't capture them, and it's either fight, kill, or be killed, or
fight, kill, or be killed, then kill or be killed. That's just life, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, I agree. If it was, obviously we'd try and aim for the best scenario, which is capturing them alive. But obviously in terms of the case of a really resistant individual, then yes, killing would be ideal.
If you're a military, in the military, you have to be trained to do that kind of thing anyway. So
yeah,
That's if somebody's firing back at you, then
No, absolutely.
fire
You got
at
to defend
them.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to protect
if you're in a
yourself.
situation where you can, like capture them alive, which is easier said than done.
Yeah, it is.
In a situation where somebody's shooting at you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the argument that we should kill them comes from, Britain's new defence minister, so Gavin Williamson, who told that he advocated the targeting of British jihadists by armed forces. So he thinks that a dead terrorist can't be a threat to Britain. So he thinks that in the best case scenario, the only way to get rid of a terrorist threat to your country is by killing them. You can bring him in and give him a fair trial, but they can still have connections. They can still have people they know.
That
they can
is
still have
true.
groups.
Yeah, it's not a simple task of like once we've trialed them, obviously capturing. Yeah, you're right. You raise a good point.
Yeah, you raise a good point, but at the same time, no matter what we do, it's not going to end terrorism. So.
And there, he's not talking about going after individuals. He's talking about like going to. He's about sending a force over to try and stop the issue.
Oh right.
It's, because I feel like we're talking about like the hunting of individuals, like with Rambo or something.
Yeah, no, individuals. Like I thought, like maybe possibly like if they were identified as an extremist and were going towards, not to the point where they're intercepted by ISIS, but the point where they're on their way.
On the way back, yeah.
No matter how many of them you kill, it's one replaces the other. You can't permanently. I don't think you can permanently get rid of a group, because there's people out there that look at those people and see them as like, there's people who genuinely see them as like heroes and want to follow in their footsteps. So you can kill them, but somebody else is just going to replace them.
It's an ideology. You can't necessarily. You can't kill an ideology.
You can't kill an ideology. You can't permanently wipe them out. So if you kill them, if you give them a fair trial, whatever, either way, it's going to end up in the same place. It's just which is more humane. That's my opinion.
But would you argue that there's still a need to be humane if they are treating people inhumanely over there?
That's a fair point. I guess not. No, that's a good point that you bring up.
I'm just asking.
I can go either way on this topic, to be honest.
No, that's fair.
They're terrible people. They're some of the worst people that we've had in the last few years. So yeah, it's hard for me to try and defend giving them a fair trial, but at the end of the day, I kind of want to live off like my ideals in terms of I think everyone's due one. As tempting as it is to go the other way, I think everyone's due a fair trial. And the argument that let's just kill him. Well, I mean, whatever, you can kill them, the person, but somebody else is just going to take their place. So it doesn't matter what you do, honestly.
I think maybe in terms of effort, there needs to be an effort of like counter propaganda, because obviously there must be some form of information or propaganda going into England, which is actually motivating or radicalizing individuals.
Well, we have that. It's called prevent.
True, but it's still not.
Contest.
Obviously, there's still people, getting through that. Obviously, still going through the system. Obviously, otherwise there wouldn't be this issue of killing people who are going to. This issue wouldn't have been raised if there's still,
Well, but we do have the system. There is a system in place that is aiming at addressing that.
Oh,
but people are accusing that system of being way too controversial, like targeting particular individuals, making teachers Islamophobic or racists, because they have to spy on students, and it's not okay. It's not the the average Englishman, the white Englishman that's being suspected here. It's the ethnic minorities, the person of Islamic faith, the person who's a black individual who's being suspected here in the most cases, because they are deemed more susceptible to radicalization. I'd argue that heck, I'm probably on the watch list right now because I've needed to do research in regards to my dissertation in regards to the prevent strategy, and I'm probably already on their watch list because I've searched up, hey, what do people think of the strategy? Why don't people like it? Why do people like it? And we even had a lecture on it where our lecturer had stood in front of us and says, okay, my job is basically to look at you, to spy on you. If one of us, if one of you in this class is saying something that is somewhat terroristic, then it is his role. That is part of his job to report us to the government.
Yeah.
Like it's in their contract. If they choose not to do that, then they won't get paid. Yeah. And then the contract is voided. So it's a case of we are being spied upon.
It's like, well, the thing is, the state can do all this, it can have all these prevent strategies and stuff like that, but then if they're going to continue with the same vein of foreign policy that they've had since the Second World War, then like this issue is never going to go away. It's every few years there's a new generation of terrorism, isn't there? Like a new group. It's Al Qaeda, it's the Taliban, it's ISIS.
Right.
It's and it all stems from the same thing. Just stop starting wars in foreign countries for your own gain. Even like the thing is, to the public, it's dressed up in a way where it's justified, but there are very few justifiable wars, and the ramifications of that, the ramifications of going and fighting in someone else's country, like it's like Nezar said, like, you're killing someone, even if they are a terrorist. That terrorist is a father, is a brother, is an uncle. They have people who are going to be radicalized because of that. And if we hadn't got involved in the first place, I'm not saying we should like leave the entire world just to be under the threat of terrorism, but like how often do these conflicts start with the aim of stopping terrorism? Look at Iraq. That was under the guise of stopping terrorism, but it wasn't. It's the fault of foreign policy, really. If it wasn't for the militarism of governments, then we wouldn't be in the situation we are in.
Yeah, I'd agree with that 100%.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them, they try to justify, back it up with patriotism.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we're doing it for our country. It's like, there's two sides to a war. There's two sides to a fight. And, you can't just say, obviously, like, what one person's doing. Obviously, in the case of ISIS, I can't see their point of view at all, personally.
They are.
But in terms of the Iraq situation specifically, you definitely can. In fact, there's a lot of sympathizers that have come out over the years for the Iraq one. So yeah, I think terrorism's just like, I think we need to know when to use the word terrorism, because what's classed as terrorism, what isn't. Obviously, attacks to our country should be, but like stuff like, did America's attack on Iraq count as terrorism?
Yeah, now we're getting into state-sponsored terrorism or state.
Exactly. So it's a very. I think the word itself, obviously, at its basic core, is just attacking a different. I don't know what you want to say. Country.
A different country. It's the major. It's the larger person attacking the smaller person.
Yeah.
For the sake of whatever they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess we could argue fairly that terrorism is just. It's just
get philosophical.
Yeah. It's like the definition of terrorism changes depending on who's trying to spout some sort of narrative. Like, to some people, like a terrorist group could be a state, could be a government, but to other people, notably people in governments, they change the definition so it doesn't involve states. It's a very fluid term.
Yeah,
and so that's why it's dangerous to throw it about so easily.
Yeah.
Right. Let's wrap that one up there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Right, who has a news story then? Reuben, you want to come in with one?
Okay, hang on. Let me just check. I believe it's something to do with our favourite person, Michael Grove? Gove, that's it.
Is this Brexit again?
Sorry, I keep thinking Biker Grove. Yeah, so Gove says voters can change Brexit deal.
Has he guaranteed that?
He says he hasn't. I don't think it's been guaranteed though. So apparently, voters can use the next general election to have their say on the final Brexit deal. Michael Gove has said.
But the next general election isn't for another 5 years, and the final Brexit deal is within the next year or two.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Lying.
Pretty much.
Brexit manages to come on our show once again.
I was really hoping we'd go the last show without mentioning Brexit to some court.
We could have, yeah.
Brexit and North Korea, the two most reoccurring topics.
That and Trump.
And Trump.
We haven't mentioned, those.
We haven't mentioned Trump, even though Trump is probably going to show up because he's done other shenanigans this week as well.
Uh-oh.
But, okay, back to this whole thing surrounding Gove. What? Why would he say that? He's giving false hope again.
Yeah. He's
he loves being into papers, doesn't he? He just loves having to be reported on. I just stop lying. Use the next general election to prove your vote. Yeah, the next general election isn't in 5 years, and the Tories already won theirs.
We say false hope for the people that are, wanted to leave. That's like scary, isn't it? It's like, oh no, we could change the possible outcome. We want to go.
It's happening now. Wheneher we want to or not, they've gone through the first stage with questionable authority, questionable motives. But again, just no.
Yeah.
This is not what we need right now.
By the point we get to that election, it's going to be about pretty useless.
Yeah.
It's just going to be, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're going to be out. We're going to be done.
Just deal with it. Like, we have to deal with the consequences of our actions.
Of course, hang on. Let me just read further. Let's see.
I feel like it's just an attempt to undermine Theresa May's authority, isn't it? Because he's a cabinet member, but at the same time,
everyone just doesn't want to accept that we're leaving.
No, but it's like because her line has been constantly from the beginning, trust me, if we all get behind me, it'll all go smoothly. Whereas by him saying that's completely against that narrative. And like in the Conservative Party, the vultures are circling around her, aren't they? Like it's only a matter of time before one of the heads of the party tries to tries to start to overthrow her.
Yeah,
just
kick her off altogether.
She's basically the excuse the term, but she's basically their cow. They're basically utilizing her to get through Brexit, and then when Brexit's done, when the whole voting situation, they're going to kick her off. They're going to get someone who's fresh and someone who can fight for the fight or something. Someone who's like somewhat half a David Cameron or what, a God knows what.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, it's just presenting another false idea that you can change something that is inevitable. And as much as I wouldn't like Brexit to happen because of how it affects everyone and how it's been handled already terribly, it's something that is democratically done now. So we just have to make sure the outcome is the best outcome. That's all we can do at this point. We can strive to fight it all we want. Or, hey, what we do is, once Brexit is over, once we've gotten through the process, then we begin submitting the papers to rejoin the EU again. Because, hey.
Yeah, because the next general election is in 2022.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, according to Gove, though, it said by the time of the next election, EU law and any new treaty with the EU will cease to have primacy. Is that primacy? Yeah, primacy or direct effect in UK law. So,
okay.
Yeah, of course it won't, because it's going to be 2020 when we're all pulled out and stuff. It's just ridiculous.
Again, he's.
Oh my gosh.
Again, it's just not helping.
Yeah, he's not helping at all.
It's not helping. The thing we need to focus on now is making sure that the process goes smoothly and that British citizens as well as European citizens get the best out of this deal. That the European citizens can feel comfortable living in the UK, the ones who are here can be comfortable living here, and the ones who are British living outside in the EU can be comfortable living there, knowing that there won't be a massive backlash against them. Because as it is right now, the UK is pretty disliked by the rest of by parts of Europe.
Yeah.
And arguably so.
Is there any chance of the next general election happening sooner than we think?
If there's another snap election.
Well, obviously Gove is. I think with Gove's statements.
That was from an inside source, by the way.
I feel like with Gove at the moment, is like rocking the boat slightly with this, because obviously it's suggesting that if we can get an early election, we can have a proper say in it. Because obviously that's what I think he's doing. I think he's tempting the people to rock the boat. Because obviously if you can pull an earlier election, then that's the only way his words can actually come true.
He's not doing a good job at it then.
Well, he's not going dark. No,
he seems really
because he is Michael Gove.
he's very out of touch with the normal people, isn't he?
Damn. This is like we because we're all like stay. I think. Yeah. Are you stay as well? Okay. We're all stay. So like we all just agree with each other whenever Brexit comes up. We need somebody who voted to leave to come on the show.
Is that the thing? The thing is with this though, it's like yeah, we Fritz is like, that's a very evil laugh. No, we want.
No, I couldn't vote, so I wanted to vote stay, but I'm just laughing.
Out of curiosity, while keeping like the whole thing, I mean, maybe not anonymous because it's probably already up there. Would any of the past show hosts have voted to?
Yeah.
So would that have been a more like debating conversation?
I mean, yeah, because there have been people in the past that would have voted to leave because they see it as well, I don't remember the reasons why, but we had a discussion on the show, I believe, about why they wanted to leave. They saw it as probably more economically beneficial in the long term, and a variety of different reasons that they gave, and it was a good debate. It was a good debate. I'm not going to shoot them down. They're entitled to their opinion. Again, in this world, in this show, you're entitled to your opinion. As long as it's not something that you're out there saying that you agree with certain things, and it's good. So cool. But yeah.
But in regards to apparently reports suggest that the cabinet will meet on the 19th of December to discuss its end state plans for Brexit.
Right.
So, in other words, yeah, Michael Gove is rocking the boat, because obviously they're going to discuss their end phase for the Brexit plans. It's just like, why? Why even bother? Why even tell us this?
Yeah, it's like I was saying. Like, everyone wants Brexit to go smoother now because it is happening. But at the same time, like you can't allow one party to dictate everything that's going to happen. So there has to be checks and balances, and that's from other parties. What's odd about this is the fact that it's someone from the Conservative Party, someone high up in the Conservative Party that's saying this.
Does he even work for the Conservative Party anymore? I thought he got a job with the newspaper.
No, that's George Osborne.
Oh yeah, that's the other punchable goat.
Oh, he's still in the cabinet. I can't. He was education. Is he environment now? Is he environment secretary?
Oh well, then we're screwed, aren't we?
yeah, we are. But like, I think if this had happened with any other like prime minister, well, it wouldn't happen with other prime ministers. It's just. No, it's because no one wants Theresa May. Well, very few people want Theresa May.
Yeah.
So it's
a lot of people don't like it.
I think she's just being used as like
a scapegoat.
Yeah. If what would have happened? Do you think if Cameron stayed on?
That's a good question.
That like he seemed like he was obviously like, say what you want about him if you liked him or not. He was a strong-minded like prime minister, definitely better than May in terms of how like what he said he stuck to. He kind of just said his ideals out there, whether you liked him or not. He probably would have been better for the Brexit situation.
I will be honest, seeing Theresa May makes me miss Cameron.
Oh yeah, me too.
It's that bad. Seeing Theresa May makes me miss David Cameron. Even with his big buff puffy cheeks, it just makes me miss Cameron because at least Cameron had charisma. Theresa May's just spouting words.
You admire strong like leaders in terms of how they speak, how they present themselves,
and just how
he was a very confident person.
Yeah.
In terms of that's why a lot of people love Corbyn in Labour, like because he says what's on his mind, and that's just kind of like that. Obviously, he's a controversial person in general because whatever he thinks he just says, and but sometimes as a leader you kind of need somebody like that. That's something to be admired. May, every time she speaks you don't believe any of it.
I don't.
No, I do feel like with some of the stuff she said, like my favorite meme, the strong and stable government. It's
This is the most strong and stable government we've had since times began, when people are dropping out of your party left, right and centre. Yeah, Theresa May's definitely strong and stable.
And no matter what you think of Robin, I'm not saying he's necessarily better. I'm not saying his ideals are better or whatever. If you don't like him, you don't like him in terms of what he's going to do for the country. I'm saying as they present themselves as leaders, Corbyn's definitely the better choice because, he's presenting himself as a stronger leader. Say one of the most controversial prime minister ever, Thatcher, she was very, very strong in terms of how she presented herself, and that's something like a lot of people admire in a leader, and May just doesn't have that.
No.
It's actually Thatcher had charisma. Like she was like being from the north. Like I'm from the heartland of people who despise her, and I see and you can see the effects of her policies. But if you listen to her speak, she's funny. She is very persuasive. But and that's just not something that's like. I feel like Theresa May is trying to emulate that, but but hasn't got the personal qualities.
And then like John Major took over after her, nobody cared. It's like the Cameron May situation
all over again.
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
But in terms of how she presents herself, she's not fit to be, in my opinion, as a leader. Definitely not.
LCR.
Go on.
What?
Go on.
Nah, I was done.
Oh, okay. This is done in time with.
He's done. Yeah.
That was perfect timing.
And that was the slating Theresa May 10 minutes.
Right. Next, who wants to bring up the next story?
Oh boy.
Who has got something? Matt, do you have anything?
In my great non-existent research, what happened this week? Donald Trump, Israel and Palestine.
Damn it, you brought it
Are we
back
talking
to
about Trump again?
Right, that's the biggest thing that happened this week. Like, it's huge. So I feel like we have to talk about it.
I know we can't escape it, but you mean you don't know what
for
happened?
anyone who doesn't know.
Oh dear.
Well, essentially, all nations essentially say that Jerusalem isn't the capital of Israel because it's contested between the Israelis and the Palestinians over who owns it, who's its capital, and essentially on the international stage, everyone just kind of ignores it because for the peace process to work, it has to. It's kind of like
it has to remain neutral.
It has to remain neutral. People can't come down on one side or the other. Donald Trump, in his infinite wisdom, thought, you know what? This week we're going to declare that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel. Therefore, essentially, stopping any peace process for probably the next 4 years.
Nice.
The war has gone mad.
And the thing is, and they justified it to the UN by saying, well, the UN is being unfair on by being neutral. Well, no, the US is declaring that the UN wasn't being neutral by ignoring the issue. They said that they were being unfair on Israel. But then the real crux of the matter is, what religion are the Palestinians?
It's Islam.
They are Islamic, and so there's no
I thought
reason.
there was there was actually a mixture of like Islam.
Palestine is Islamic
Predominantly.
and Christian, yes.
Yeah, Islamic and Christian.
And Israel, which they're the same country. They're just
Although
named-
there are some Jewish people in Palestine.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
Muslims in Israel.
Yeah.
Like it works both
really?
ways.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, but getting back to it, but it's like there is literally no good reason for Donald Trump to do this. There is no justification. There's no benefit for it. So you have to look at what else are his motives, and the only thing that stands out is the fact that Palestine is a majority Muslim nation.
So you're arguing with this that he's aiming it to get back at Muslims?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we talked about this last week. Trump is so clear about his dislikes on Muslims. That's just how it is. And we talked about how he shouldn't be saying the stuff he is. Obviously, going back to my last point, he's a strong-willed person and he says what's on his mind. So as a leader on the technical side, he's pretty okay. But in terms of his things, just like Thatcher, very controversial.
I don't even know what to say, because already we're beginning to see conflict spewing out. Israel firing at the Gaza Strip, firing into Palestine. It's Palestine responding. It's just he's basically started another Middle Eastern war. We don't even know how this is going to go. He's just started another war between two countries that claim that this spot belongs to them, that this is their holy land, and he's just come in from nowhere, swept in, and said, I recognize it as this, and that is fine. What I don't understand though is why does it matter if the USA says it is? The USA is just one country.
The USA is allied with Israel.
It is allied with Israel, but why does it matter if the rest of the world says it? For this to be recognized by the world, it has to be recognized by all the countries of the world. The US is just one country recognizing this. So why does it matter if the US says so?
It's justifying Israel's standpoint, because imagine you're at the peace table you've got Israel and Palestine, and this issue comes up. Well, Israel's just going to say, well, the US backs us, Jerusalem is ours.
That's not a leg to stand on, though. If everyone else in the world, if every other country in the world says, you know what, no, this is actually a neutral point. You might have America who has nuclear and military arsenals, but we don't really care because it's a neutral. We argue that it's a neutral standpoint. Then we shouldn't bow to pressure of the United States because it's one country.
But if the US do a favor for Israel, willing to do a favor back, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just making them stronger allies.
Aye.
It's not a good situation, of course, but
thank you,
you're,
Trump.
you're just adding more fuel to the fire, and I mean, to be fair, how much worse is the fighting getting, considering this fighting's been happening for 50 plus years?
There's been 4 deaths so far,
Oh,
and it's
dear.
going to increase quickly.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And the thing is, with the travel ban, it's a lot of people call it a Muslim ban, and there are arguments for it being that, and there are arguments for it being he just doesn't want flights from nations where terrorist groups are strong. He doesn't want them coming into the US, but this move doesn't do anything to benefit the US
No,
whatsoever. So it's
a single. Well, we can argue it's a single-handed attack. We don't know why. He hasn't said why. We can sit there and say that it's because he hates Muslims or it's because he dislikes Islam or Muslims, but we don't know that. We can't argue and say that. We can argue that, but we don't know what reason he is.
well, what would it be then?
I don't know. I can't say.
He might think it's the best for his country.
Yeah,
But how does it benefit the US?
they have an ally in the
Anyway.
Middle East.
They had Israel was their ally in the Middle East anyway.
Now they have
Israel's
a stronger connection.
Israel's been their ally ever since it's been.
But now
declared
they
as
have a stronger connection, potential defense lines, potential lines for nuclear weapons in case.
I mean, yeah,
I suppose so.
I guess that's why he did it then. But it's definitely clear that he has a personal dislike for Muslims. He's been
Yeah.
clear about that before, many times, before he was put on as president of the United States.
You're right there, Reuben.
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about it, because obviously if the state is in conflict, I was just looking at the map seeing who's nearby, and obviously it's near Syria. So here's the problem: if there is a proper conflict or all-out war, the people who are left are going to have to deal with all those other countries, because I bet there's going to be people who want, from Syria, from I mean, just Syria, really. It's mostly Syria.
Right.
I'm just thinking about the bigger picture because I'm trying to at least. I'm trying to think like, obviously yes, the conflict between Palestine is the fact that it's being the neutral zone has been like basically annihilated by Trump, and that's going to be a conflict.
Annihilated by Trump.
Yeah, pretty much. First of all is ridiculous. I find it just annoying. But second of all, I'm just thinking like, I don't know, maybe I'm making something out of nothing, but I'm just thinking, I feel like it's a bad idea. I think they need to actually worry about other issues before they start doing this to each other. Obviously, Trump has done it. It's too late now, but I don't know.
I mean, it's a decent situation for Trump because he's got very little to lose in this scenario.
Yeah, no, he's got very little to lose. But I'm talking about
nobody's going to back up Palestine. So
no, I'm not saying back up Palestine. I'm saying if there's a conflict and there'll be casualties on both sides.
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of people injured, a lot of people lost.
Yeah.
Whoever's left, whoever survives this fight, whether they be Palestine or Israel, is going to have to deal with a very dangerous Syria.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about it.
Why Syria?
Well, no, because of the ISIS fighters.
Oh yeah.
If you think about it, if you got this whole land with a weakened army and a weakened force due to fighting, it's ideal.
Well, let's remember, Israel is a powerhouse of a country. Push back 3 countries trying to attack them at once.
Obviously, if Israel gets back up from US on that one, then I could see it being all right. But if Palestine wins this, I'm saying hypothetically, in a scenario where they both fought,
right?
As you said, no one's going to back up Palestine.
No country's going to back up Palestine.
No country's going to back up
Every other Arab country around Palestine is allied with America.
Exactly. So they're going to be either crushed,
exiled,
or something. It's just going to be
a
really bad time.
Syria, Egypt, Jordan, they're all allied with America. They wouldn't step in.
Yeah.
But if Palestine's doing this, they're doing it by themselves.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, they have a better chance than a country attacking Israel because they're inside the country.
Yeah.
So they've probably got the best chance, but at the same time, you're dealing with Israel, and then they're a powerhouse of a military country.
Yeah, they are, yeah.
Small in population, but powerful in, every other sense because they grow up in a militaristic state. Like, a lot of the time, they're actually grown up like, yeah, you're going to grow up and you're going to join the military. It's like, that's, it's a strong country right there, and you want that as your ally, so that's probably why America's doing it, but
yeah,
I don't know. It seems it's a ridiculous situation.
It's essentially ended the peace process. I can't speak. It's ended the peace process. Like there's no.
Well, I mean, has war been declared yet? That's
no. Whether it has or hasn't, like, I mean, talks have historically gone terribly forever, but like
because the Palestinian Prime Minister isn't gonna. Isn't gonna go fight him. He's gonna try and keep it together because he wants it together. But obviously, the people and the Prime Minister, especially in Palestine, are two very different people, like two very different mindsets. Because the Prime Minister of Palestine is clearly okay with, the situation at the moment, and the people of Palestine want what they think is their country back, and that's why they've been fighting for the past, since the 40s, right?
Since then, the Second World War. Well, here's a question on it. Are the Palestinians justified in their thoughts?
It's a very controversial topic.
Because I'm gonna drop some history on y'all in a minute.
Let's do it.
Do it. So the main conflict arises from the post-war period when essentially the British and the Americans got together to redraw the map of the world and thought, you know what, here's a great place for a straight line that doesn't take into account nationalities, cultures, even geographical stuff, any of that. And essentially, and decided, right, this is Israel. This is a country for the Israelites. And of course, didn't take into account the Palestinians whatsoever when they were doing this.
No. If you're saying that they're justified, then I mean it's a controversial opinion, but yeah, they are. That's my opinion anyway. But that's bad to say in terms of especially, I guess, because it's free speech. You can say what you want, but I've said that to a lot of people who have been giving me really bad looks and like, well, Palestinians are crazy and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, but imagine if somebody came into your home and kicked you out and took over your country. You'd be a bit crazy too.
People who think, people who are so strongly one side or the other on the argument have no understanding of the background of it.
Yeah.
It's essentially it's an issue caused by the British and the Americans from back in the day. I mean, obviously we can't take responsibility for it now because it wasn't us, but like for everyone to continue to stoke the fire is like what are we doing as a species?
No.
Really?
Nah, it's
The human race.
Good question.
How genius. Right, what else have we got then? Let's move that one away.
Yeah, good
three
idea.
very heavy topics.
Oh boy.
It's like the second half will be lighter.
Or do you want to take a break now, or do you want? What was
Let's
that?
look for something lighter now.
Let's get all the seriousness out of the way.
No,
do we
something
have-
serious, but not like
not same level of seriousness.
same level as something a little bit more.
Russia's been banned from the Olympics.
Oh, has it?
There you go. That's better.
What they do?
They were caught for drugging.
Oh no, I heard about this. Oh, I'm loud on my end.
Yeah, I fixed that.
Okay, I heard about this. That's funny.
That's funny, he says.
I mean, they're always the ones that stereotypically, when you think of like the bad judge scores, they're always the ones that never give the perfect 10s. So I don't know. I just find it kind of funny.
That Russia no longer will be competing in the next Olympic in Pyeongchang. Is that right?
Pyongyang?
Pyongyang.
Excuse me?
North Korea.
No, not North Korea.
Yeah, I was like,
that's the difference. It's
happening in Korea?
It's definitely is it Korea?
It's not.
It's in
Is it in North Korea? Oh, yeah, the Olympics
in
in
North
North
Korea.
Korea.
The Olympics is going to be...
in North Korea.
Wait.
We're
Are we
talking about the
Oh
Winter
yeah, so we're talking
Olympics.
about the Winter Olympics, not the Olympics.
No, I think they're going to be
No,
banned from the General Olympics.
Well, yeah,
But the
they are
Olympics
banned,
is
right?
2020, so...
Yeah, but they're going to be banned from it anyway. So apparently, according to...
Wait, right.
Oh no! You know what?
What?
It's in Pyeongchang. He was right. I don't know where that is, but I think it's in South Korea.
Dun dun.
Oh, South Korea,
dun,
yeah, that's
dun,
fine.
dun 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 dun.
Are you alright?
Yeah. Oh my.
Fine. Sorry, I'm just waiting for someone to bring up a topic.
We ridiculed him, but he was right. It is Pyeongchang, South Korea.
Hey.
Yeah,
Wow.
South Korea, no.
Sorry, it's just that I thought
Punch
North.
a man
Yeah.
while he's down. Guys, punch him while he's down. Get in the face. There you go.
But yeah, the thing is, the Russian athletes, if they can prove they are clean, they are allowed to.
But they can't compete. They can't
as
compete
Russian.
as Russian.
Oh,
They have to be like
wow.
a Olympic representative of Russia.
Well, I mean, they have till
They have to be independent,
They have
yeah,
another
actually.
20 years. It's 2 years rather. So 20 years.
they're
2
not gonna.
years.
Yeah, but they've been banned now. The organization said no. You're not going. Russia isn't allowed.
Are they banned from the Winter Olympics too?
It is the Winter Olympics that they are
Okay.
banned from.
All right,
I
not
mean,
the
I
actual Olympics.
assume they'll be banned from the normal Olympics as well because like this has been going on for a long time,
Yeah.
and it all came out after Rio, and it's just hasn't stopped.
That's
has it?
insane. Like genuinely, I don't know. Maybe I should be. When I think like substances to make you perform better, I would have thought America before Russia.
Damn.
Damn, dude.
Wow.
What do you think? Should we have an Olympics where you're actually allowed to just dope someone up, like to dope them up and to see how they perform like that?
I've heard this argument before.
If everyone's doped, then the chances of winning are equal. So
And think about the speeds and the distances of these people.
Yeah,
would
the
go.
world
It'd be
record in
like-
5 seconds for 100
immense.
meters.
Well, here's the thing: there'll be new techniques. If you're allowed to, if all drugs were, you were allowed to do it, they would develop new stuff.
when people
so, like,
get
tighter
bored,
like stronger formulas, which have like.
The best enhancing drugs for the human race. Yeah.
when people,
I mean, pharmaceutical companies would like pay a fortune for this because there'd be like a development, like basically a convention of all their substances
Yep.
and all their all their medicinal drugs, and they'd just be and they have steroids, and they'd just be like, oh, see this guy, this is his represented by I don't know a pharmaceutical company.
Yeah.
when
And it's just like you basically have like just a sample and people could just buy it off the shelves. That'd be the best advertisement.
Reuben is advocating for this. What do you
No,
guys
I'm not
think?
advocating. I'm just saying it would be a field day for pharmaceutical companies.
when people get bored of how the Olympics just are in general, they probably just will and be like, yeah, okay, let's see what you can do.
When you're jacked up on steroids.
I mean, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see a bunch of like, records be broken and stuff like that.
We'd have like a separate set of records. It would be like you can't put those two things together.
We have
like,
the Olympics, we have
it'd
the
be
Paralympics. Now let's get them real
The
jacked up.
steroid
and go-
Olympics.
The
Chemi-
Steroid
That's
Olympics.
awesome.
The Carolympic.
The
Chemelympics.
the Meth Olympics.
the Ket Olympics.
Ket Olympics.
You know what?
Oh, see, let's
if
do
if
that.
they're
That'd be
giving
good as
you
well.
a good show, What's the problem?
No, see, I would say, like, in terms of, like...
The problem is someone grabbing a spear, just walking up to the cameraman and stabbing him in the heart with the spear
the
instead.
aggression.
Yeah, but
the
a
side
lot
effects would be-
of professional wrestlers take steroids, and everyone likes that. The people that they're fans of that love the shows they're putting on. So
I guess, but steroid. I mean, wrestling is different from an Olympic sport. Here, you're representing your
yeah,
nation.
I guess professional
Like, if
wrestling's
you-
meant to be more of an entertainment, and sports is more of a like look at these human feats that we're accomplishing.
Look at this human feet.
Look at Usain Bolt's human feet. Look how fast he's going.
Human feet.
So it wasn't. Okay, so you got steroid Olympics. What about Olympic Games, but while they're all like stoned?
So high.
I'd watch that as well. That'd be great.
That'd be really boring.
That'd be great because they'd be like flopping about. It'd be amazing.
Imagine someone trying to do hurdles. It's just like, you know what? Sorry, I'm not doing that hurdle.
100
I'll walk around.
100-meter speed sprint on Adderall.
100 meter sprint.
It's like
Are the
I would watch it.
commentators high too?
Oh yeah, everything
Just
about
everyone's high. The
Why-
judges
why
are high.
Why is this? Why is this?
Okay,
a
this
thing?
is not
Why-
the second
this is not
section.
the-
We need to take a break
like,
before we come back.
Let's
Right.
stop, guys.
Let's
We have
take a
4 more
Raz-
minutes.
Do you-
Okay, let's go back onto the topic.
Let's go to Russia.
Let's go back to the topic. Let's stick on.
Oh, relating to
Please.
Russia, Putin's decided he's going to run for another 6 years.
Oh yeah.
There we
He's
go.
decided, or they're doing an election.
He's just like that.
They're doing it, yeah, but he's decided he's going to run. They're doing an election, but we all know what that means.
Yeah,
Putin
they're-
is going to
yeah.
run for another 6
He's-
years.
Or he's going to switch
running
with his
for
friend,
election.
like what they've been doing for the past few years.
Oh, he could do that, yeah.
It's like, just to make it seem more fair, because, give the illusion of free choice. Because what he did before Putin, it was his mate, and then before his mate, it was Putin. So they probably just might switch back and forth.
It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
It's like a tag team in wrestling.
Is it? I really hope because they've got a dual system, so they have a president and a prime minister. I really hope that when one's the prime minister, the other one's president, and then next time around, they're like,
Hold
let's
on, I'm
swap
gonna
jobs.
check that, because that might actually.
If that's
be
what
the
it is, that's
case.
magic. Because the difference is like the president is like in charge of like international affairs, where the prime minister is domestic.
Or internal affairs.
Yeah.
Ooh,
If it's like that, that would be. I mean, obviously,
Which way around this time?
obviously this is terrible for democracy as a thing, but like it's genius from his standpoint.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Putin. Putin knows what he's doing
He
all
does,
the time.
he does what he wants.
I would like to interview
Dude.
Putin. I would like
Um,
to sit down and have a conversation with Putin. I just think like I would be interested in knowing how Putin thinks.
Second president of Russia, Vladimir Putin, 2000 to 2008. He then became the prime minister from 2008 to 2012. Then became the president
What I say?
again,
What I just say?
the fourth president, preceded by his Dmitry. I can't even. Medvedev,
him, I want to give it.
Red der.
who is he is currently the prime minister
Oh my
of
God, it was
Russia,
as well.
and was the third president of Russia. So they're
Oh my
switching. They're
word.
just switching places.
That's beautiful.
What a beautiful
That's
time
beautiful.
to be alive.
I
Welcome to
It's great.
democracy in full
That's
manifest.
amazing. Yeah.
the
That's,
ultimate tag
I
team.
knew when he brought that up. I knew it was like that as well, because they just switch. That's just how it is. That's just how it works. It gives you the illusion of. I mean, probably not gives you the illusion. Somebody in Russia's going to be like, all right, this isn't. Why?
I think they just chill with it. They're like, oh, cool. Okay, right.
Oh,
so
cool. The only two candidates we can vote for are the president and the
It's-
prime minister.
it's-
And then whoever loses the runner-up prizes to become the prime minister.
It's
It's-
like you
it's
can't
like-
lose.
There's nothing wrong with losing.
You can't lose.
Everybody's a winner in this.
Everyone wins in Russia.
Everybody
Everyone's a
wins.
winner as long as it's the same two people.
Yeah.
And it's like because it's a post-communist state. Like the voters themselves are largely apathetic because there's a whole argument that they for 80 years they didn't have a choice, so they're not bothered about having a choice, and they don't trust the institutions, so they don't bother voting, stuff like that. So it's like it's real easy to get away with this kind of thing. Like,
Well, I mean, but with the logic of the two people party, that just means that maybe the votes aren't rigged at all, and it's legit. It's just you can only choose from the same two people again and again and again,
Have a
who
good
are friends, by the way.
Have a good election come 2018.
Imagine if I was like me and Reuben. Oh yeah, mate, you're running for.
Yeah.
Let's
Just
see
tag
who
team.
wins.
I'd vote for that.
Let's see who wins.
Oh wait, you wait till you see my policy.
Yeah.
Nukes everywhere.
No, nukes. No
We
nukes.
both give our
everywhere.
we both give our policies, and the loser becomes prime minister.
Yeah, we're just like, okay, I'll just put my policies into internal mode, and then one do
Oh,
external.
Reuben, you lost. Looks like you're downgraded to prime minister.
Oh man.
8 more years.
Right, and on that bombshell, we're going to take a bit of a break, and then we'll be back in a bit, and then Reuben can tell you all about his policies for when he becomes Prime Minister. So until then, we've got some tracks for you, and we'll see you.
More raps.
Sing the Russian national anthem on the way out.
No,
No, he's going to bring the comics.
I am doing that now.
And we'll see you on the other side.
See you.
Loughborough Campus Radio.
All right, welcome back. I hope you had a nice, relaxing little break there. We put on some nice tracks for you. Hopefully you enjoyed those. Sorry if you're listening in on the podcast because we have to cut the music out because of content ID. And if we're probably, we have to cut that music out. We're not allowed to keep it in if it's a podcast kind of thing. But anyway, let's move on to the second half of the show. The second half of the show is where we discuss things that have been more interesting to us in regards to what we found in news stories or what we've found en general. Let's start it off with Rubicon. What do you got for us?
Well, there's a topic that I know that some of us are interested in as people who view Twitch, and that is that there's a call by the general public, not general public, the users, for less sexual content on Twitch.
And already I can see the controversy because I actually read about this, and the people who are being accused of sexualizing Twitch are calling out and calling misogyny. They're calling misogyny. They're saying, oh, this is people wanting to stop us from using our bodies the way we want to. This is people deciding what we can wear. This is people trying to impose rules and directions upon us. But Twitch itself, their rules are very, very odd when it comes to stating what they class as sexual content. So if you don't know about Twitch is a live streaming platform where you can stream gameplay. Some people use it to stream real life, so that means that people can interact with them in real life to see what's going on in real life. I don't know if anyone here uses it. I don't use it. I stick primarily to YouTube because it's
same.
Probably
I don't watch on Twitch. No. Anyone I like on Twitch usually re-uploads on YouTube, so I watch it post.
Yeah.
Although I do know some people who friends of ours who also use Twitch.
Yeah. So
and especially for like the real life stuff, like really?
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to see that?
Well, apparently people really want to mess about with people in real life. The people in what the real life streams have done though is that they've allowed people to troll you in real life. So they'll call it ambulance or police service, or they'll say
swatting
or swat you, or there'll be people calling you and saying, oh, there's someone called Tryhard waiting for you outside or something. So things like that, which people, I don't know, get enjoyment out of doing that. I don't know why. But going back to this whole sort of sexual content thing, when you go onto Twitch, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what you're searching for, what we see is, and this isn't something I'm saying as from my perspective, this is just something that one observes when one sees a lot of Twitch, when one watches Twitch. So on certain sections, when you go on there, you see that the most popular Twitch streamers are either those with established communities, or it tends to be people exposing not fully naked, but exposing parts of their bodies.
So instead of focusing on the game or the content or the community, it's more focused on
the person,
physicalities,
twerking, dancing, doing yoga in front of you for donations, for money. A large amount of the people that are involved in this are women. So that's why we've now seen people who are legitimately criticizing them for basically sexualizing Twitch, for turning Twitch into not a platform of basically sexually explicit content, and they've been shut down. Channels that are criticizing it have been shut down by Twitch because of course these streamers bring in money to Twitch. They bring in a lot of money, they bring in a lot of views. But of course there's the other argument of it where this is actually just it's hurting Twitch's reputation as a gaming streaming platform, and it's also very, very explicit, very, very, very out there.
It's not family friendly.
So YouTube would have probably advertised yellow marker on you.
Demonetized.
Demonetized. We'll come back onto YouTube later. Yeah. But so again, it's something that it depends on the person. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young people who go on there and see titty streamers and they're like, oh, she's playing a game, mom. I'm only donating $2 to her because she's playing a game, and she only does that if you give her money, mom. It's like, it's not naked. She's not naked.
And then the mum's like, oh, well, that justifies it then, and walks off.
So what are your opinions on this?
I honestly don't care. If they want to do that, they can do that, because like Twitch doesn't have rules against that kind of thing.
It does.
Well, I mean,
It
not
does,
like
yeah.
full nudity, right?
Well, it says against full nudity and sexually explicit content, but they don't describe what that sexually explicit content is.
If you can go around the system, it's okay. If you're making money off it, look, right. Twitch doesn't have the same kind of thing YouTube does in terms of the family-friendly kind of
Vibe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like, you know, kids should be watching this. Twitch, you're open to everything basically. So if you come across you're most likely, if you find those streamers, you're looking for it. And if you're looking for it and you want to donate for it, that's your choice.
But then the argument is that people who genuinely enjoy playing video games for the sake of playing video games, which is the purpose of Twitch, are basically thrown underneath the bus, covered up by these semi-sexed up Twitch streamers who dominate the forefront of the Twitch webpage. So then again, people who actually enjoy playing games and want to play games, instead of watching a girl try and play Black Ops 3 or whatever they're playing, then it's not fair on them, because they genuinely want to enjoy it. They don't want to play the game and want people to watch and interact with them and make a community. It's like saying someone like myself, I enjoy playing video games and I do that on YouTube, sometimes stream, but I might get overthrown by what they call them, titty streamers. I'm just going to put that out there now, because in case we use that term later, titty streamers. You might get thrown under the bus by a titty streamer streaming the same game because she has the sex appeal.
Well, but Twitch has been doing this for the past few years, hasn't it?
Yeah, but
It's
now
it's been a growing rate though. Isn't
but now
it?
it's growing
Yeah.
to the point where it's almost changing the focus of the channel, and it's worrying.
I mean, it is pretty trashy in that sense, but I mean, that's just. I think a lot of people, if they see that it makes views, they're just gonna do it, aren't they? Like, I'm not justifying why they're like if they should, but I'm justifying why they're doing it.
And it comes down to the discussion of you have control of what you use your body for.
Yes.
You know, this is your body, your temple. You do what you want with it. If you feel comfortable doing something like, because I can see their argument, I can see that this is your body, this is your selection. You know, if you want to stream because you feel comfortable wearing certain clothing, or if it because you know that it makes you more money, then according to the world that we live in, you're free to do so. You're free to utilize your body as long as it's not harming or hurting anyone else in any way, shape, or form.
It's like it's not up to the creator to censor themselves. Like, if it's supply and demand, if they know like I said, if they know they can make money out of it, do it. Like, then let them do it. It's up to the consumer to. If they don't want to see that, then don't watch that. Or if it's up to the parents of the consumer in a lot of cases.
I'd agree with that. I wouldn't take steps to actively, you know, like if it's not breaking if Twitch don't see us breaking their guidelines, then it's fair game.
What do you think, Reuben? Because
I mean, I agree with the points. Yeah, if it's their body, it's whatever they want to do with it. It's, you know, it's fine. But I would say the only thing I would say that it just makes me sad, because it's a platform which was initially meant just about playing video games. You know, just for the fun. You know, just watching people play. Like, okay, I'm not massively into the streaming side of things. Like, I don't really find enjoyment in like watching live streamers. It's just I might just want to watch a recorded video or something like that.
Same.
But I would say that it's sad that a platform which prided itself on being a purely gaming platform, so people can play games, people can do whatever they want, is kind of just being like, there's sudden manipulation, sudden like tactics being used that aren't making it less focused about the game and more focused on certain other aspects,
Right.
like as you know, on physicalities. And while yes, it's a great strategy, you know, it works. It's making money for themselves. They're paying the bills. It's fine. I don't know. It's just saddening to see.
Again, I don't know. I can see both arguments here.
I think we need somebody who watches Twitch regularly to like get in on the conversation, because none of us do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I watch live streamers like our boy here.
Hello.
Is that,
Our boy.
Fritz is the only live stream that I watch.
Yeah,
Like,
same.
Oh, actually, no, that's not true. Like ETC show as well, and maybe a bit of Vicstar, but mostly Fritz.
But ETC, he's super entertaining, so I understand that.
I
one.
haven't watched.
I need to live stream again.
Yeah, we'll get some Mario Kart stream.
yeah.
You know it.
But yeah, no, that's
Yeah, so the whole Twitch debacle is just it's a bit of a shambles right now, and what I would say is that Twitch needs to seriously specify what they consider sexually explicit content that there is not okay on the platform, and also that if they are going to change the focus of the site and block people who fairly want to criticize titty streamers, then they need to do that pronto, because if you're gonna have two sections here, if you're gonna maybe they're gonna create a section for specifically for that, maybe an 18+ section where the titty streamers are, because
Fully rampant.
again, you know, it relates to the whole YouTube child thing. You know, you don't want your children seeing some certain types of content, so they shouldn't. Should they be allowed to see that if they want to, or should they not be allowed to see that? Because they're here.
Kids, isn't there?
Money factors into this as well. Money factors into this, whereas a child who, in some cases, have access to their parents' wallet or has their own money, will donate money to see this person do this, to see a woman twerk in front of them, to see a woman do yoga, to see a woman stretch seductively or moan seductively in front of the screen. Because I don't know. Hey, I don't know how this world works. I don't know what to say.
Hey man, it's their choice if they want to do it. Would you rather them go to a strip club?
No.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's their
Would
alternative.
would I rather them watch a person who's faking gameplay try to seductively seduce the child?
I've got it. Fritz doesn't have a problem with the content. He just doesn't like other streamers because he wants all these kids to be coming to his streams.
No.
He wants the
Whoa.
donations for himself.
Yeah.
No.
Joking, no. That's that.
No.
It's not that.
I do not want kids to come to my stream.
Oh, you know what?
I didn't mean it. Obviously, I didn't mean it like that. I meant people to come and watch your stream.
Give me some views, please.
I just want what I want is a community, people who genuinely enjoy my content.
Yeah.
I just want random people popping in, and I was like,
It's probably, you know,
don't stop.
I might
not okay.
I might have a different opinion on it if I use Twitch, but I don't. And to me, everything on Twitch is just the same anyway, so I kind of just don't care for it.
Well, here's Nezar's homework. Watch Twitch.
Watch Twitch. Your assignment is due by the end of the week.
So by tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
Sick. Right.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm
Thanks.
sorry, man.
Thanks for that, Reuben.
No worries.
Again, I would like to get more into talking about Twitch maybe at a later point though.
But none of us watch it.
None of us watch it, but still we could talk
do a bit
about
of
it further.
research. Like one night we could just like watch, you know,
Watch some Twitch.
just watch some Twitch.
With some popcorn.
See,
Depends
for me it
what
just
we're
takes too
watching.
long. Like it's like I like watching short videos because you know.
If I'm gonna watch any gameplay, I like it split into parts so I can like stop at
Yeah.
one point.
Yeah,
or,
like otherwise, like with the long ones, it's like I have to watch the whole thing, and then I just want to
also
watch like a
with
20 minute,
with
like,
live
2-minute
streams,
video.
there's a lot of dead air.
Yeah,
And I also won't watch something where it's done by one person. If I'm watching anyone do gameplay, it has to be like multiple people.
So
Obviously, except the what's his
ETC?
name? Yeah, except him because he's hilarious. But usually when I'm watching gameplay, I like to see kind of like a radio show, like our radio show. If it was one person, I'd be less interested. But we have each other to kind of fill in any dead air
yeah.
in the thing, so that's why I like it. It's the same with the podcast. I like to listen to multiple people's opinions. That's why I won't watch Twitch, because a lot of the time it's single people like, yeah, okay, I'm doing this, and he stays quiet for like a long time. He's like, oh, no,
Yeah,
it's like I don't care for it, to be honest.
that's fair.
Relating to gaming news, so a few days ago was the game show, the World Game Awards, World Game Awards, I think it's called. But at Paris Games Week, Detroit, so this is a PlayStation exclusive, Detroit Become Human, came under fire for featuring a controversial domestic abuse scene. Now, the aim of this game is, of course, I can't even fully explain it, but I'm supposing you're a robot or an android. This domestic abuse scene has a father and a daughter, and the father is very physical towards his daughter. At one point in this scene, the daughter goes upstairs, father follows, and then you come up afterwards, and the father has killed the daughter. Now, the thing about this game though is your choices matter. So you can stop this from happening. You can stop the father from killing the daughter through a variety of events, through a variety of whatever choices you make. But this game has been criticized for making child abuse seem like a game, seem like it's to making light of it, for making fun of it, or something like that. So we've had UK members of Parliament and children campaigners criticizing the game for featuring such a scene, and have asked for the game to either remove the scene or for the game to be boycotted by Sony. And I want to hear your opinions on this.
Well, I mean, we're talking about the same game industry that said that somebody trying to, in Tomb Raider 2013, somebody struggling with Lara Croft and trying to strangle her to death was sexist. So
it's like as long as it handles the issue, like does the guy get to prison type of thing? Does it, like if it's presented in a negative light, then it's not like it's trivializing it.
It's not trying to trivialize it. It's saying that you can be the person that acts upon this and tries to stop the child abuse happening, or you can be the person that just lets it happen. It's your choice.
As long as it's not putting like a positive or even a neutral light, as long as it's clear that this is a bad thing that's happening, it's not trivializing it in general. Like,
no.
I mean, when you watch a film, do you complain when controversial stuff comes up? No, because that's the artist's vision.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, like or historic plays, like some really messed up things happen within, like or Othello, or like just some like classic films or classic movies, or
why do we have to shelter like everyone? If you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah, obviously if you're warned and I kicked Matt knee, sorry.
And it's got an age rating. Yeah. It's going to be like an 18, isn't it?
It probably will be.
Yeah, it's not like kids are going to be playing. Obviously, you can say their parents are going to get them for or whatever. My point is, it's been warned that you shouldn't play it if you're young. So you're an adult. Why do people care? Genuinely, why do people care about that kind of thing? That's an artist's vision, and while I don't like David Cage as an artist, I think he's kind of an idiot. He can put whatever he wants in his story. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I'm not advocating that, he killed his kid.
So
that's like something good. No, obviously that's bad, but at the same time it's fiction.
So what's been said is Tory MP Damian Collins says it is completely wrong for domestic violence to be part of a video game regardless of what the motivation is. He says domestic violence is not a game and this simply trivializes it. I worry that people who play this, who themselves have suffered abuse, will use this game to shape the way in which they deal with the abusers. Child Commissioner for England Anne Longfield saying it ends up in a clumsy, inappropriate and graphic gameplay that is no more than an unpleasant, exploitative way of making money off the back of real suffering.
That's stupid. That's down to the person if they want to take it that way, not the game.
Yeah. It's like at the end of the day, a game's not going to send someone off on a crazy rampage.
As much as the
individual itself.
As much as the public would like to think that's the case.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, somebody got shot, and then the person's like, "Oh, GTA made me do this." It's like, no, he didn't. You're just insane.
You're just looking for reasons to accuse someone of it.
Yeah.
And the MP said it's saying this content shouldn't be in a game regardless of anything about it. Now, by using that same logic, should any Mario game exist because you jump on animals at some point, like
animal cruelty?
Exactly. The concept of Mario shouldn't exist anymore because a man saving a woman is sexist. So get rid of the concept altogether.
You stop giving them ideas. Mario is good, okay? Don't let them destroy the game industry.
It's like these things happen in the real world. Like it's not and it's not being trivialized at all. Let's say it shouldn't be put in a game because the game trivializes. That's just rubbish.
Yeah.
You can't hide away from these things. It's relating to what we were talking about a few weeks ago with the university story thing.
Yeah.
You can't I understand that you want to that this is something that you want to protect and keep safe, and you want to show that they're getting the right information. But by removing it wholeheartedly, that is hiding away the issues that exist. There are issues of domestic abuse. There are issues that people know of and that they need to be aware of, and this is one medium of exploring that. Do you think that in theatre that we shouldn't have cases of the murder, domestic abuse, even though they're highlighting a story that they're showcasing an issue, they're showcasing something that needs to be addressed?
If you're going to take out video games, you have to take out of movies, books, television, any kind of medium.
Any mediums, even just more videos on anything.
Well, they're gonna
it's all okay or none of it. So.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna say that it comes down because this is a player's choice, an individual choice. Because you are actively doing this, then that's not okay.
But no, it's like you. No, it's
again. I don't see that as enough of it. Just no.
No, it's not justification.
Because you actively purchase a ticket to go see a play that involves domestic violence or violence of any sort or kind.
Yeah.
You actively spend money to buy a video game that contains violence. You are an active role player in every case.
Yeah.
So therefore, why is it okay in one medium but not in the other?
I don't know. Well, because I suppose that in the eyes of the people who downvote this, or people who despise this, it would be the case of in games you get to make your own choices. You get to obviously, yes, you are in the film. or a book, you actively buy it, you actively, you read it. But with the books and films, you're going through someone else's story. While yes, you can say Detroit has a storyline and has its own mainframe, the plot elements and certain aspects and choices are up to the player.
Right.
So a bit more.
So it's your choice if you want to save this kid or not.
Yeah, it's your choice.
It's like, if you had one of them books, the adventure books you used to have back in the day. I don't know if you still get them, but the ones where you could go, if you want to go through this alleyway, go to page 2, or if you want to go down this alleyway, go to page 3.
I had a Pokemon one.
I had one. Oh, you had a what?
I had a Pokemon one.
Oh, really?
It was awesome.
Nice. But anyway, no, it's that sounded cool.
One of David Cage's previous games was Heavy Rain. That dealt with child death. Why did nobody get controversial?
Oh, it had its fair share of controversial at that point.
Oh, back in 2010, 2010.
Because it featured a scene also where the woman was almost she was having a nightmare.
Oh yeah.
But she was and did it also feature a nude scene? Which
there was a nude scene.
There was a nude scene again, so that caused a controversy. Again, welcome to the modern day world. It's not okay.
As I said, I think Cage is an idiot as a creator. I don't care for his games. Heavy Rain's alright. I like Heavy Rain, but that's it. I don't care for his games in general, and you know what? Hearing that he's giving you the choice to save a kid is a bit weird. Like, why wouldn't I? But
again, it's showing that your actions have consequences.
I know.
In
To be
video
fair,
games.
some of them are like some of the choices, like if you're taking it from Heavy Rain, like some of them are so like obscure.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even think about it.
How do you want to chop your finger off?
Yeah.
Pinky or pointy?
Yeah, it's like it's so obscure.
See, that's a weird choice to me, because it's like you're not gonna feel what the character's feeling, so why wouldn't you chop the finger off? That's my.
Well, again, some people did feel the way the characters feel because you're going through the story with them, so you end up feeling for this character.
I can understand being immersed, but like not to that level where you're like feeling the same pain.
I think it's not,
especially
like,
if it's for a great.
From a gameplay standard, like it may not necessarily, like when I think about if you cut your little finger off in terms of certain, like if you in certain operations, like obviously you need like or certain like using of certain instruments or tools or weapons, or if it's a game, obviously. I imagine obviously getting rid of the trigger finger, it has a repercussion, so maybe you won't feel it, but there's still a negative repercussion later on down the road, because maybe this finger will, my index finger will lose more blood than my little finger,
right.
Or there'll be certain things that will mean that I die, or I can't use certain things, or there's still obviously obviously you can't feel the pain, but they should obviously implement
your actions have consequences.
Yeah, consequences. So yeah, you won't be able
to... like saving this kid like might have consequences, like negative consequences. Yeah, I think so too. So that's probably what he's going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this guy it's David Cage, right?
Yeah.
He's a guy who steeps himself in controversy anyway.
Oh
yeah, I'm not a fan of him personally.
He rolls through with it.
And I think like people have an issue with the game. I think to some extent there's like a generational thing. Like, there are like older people who just don't like kids playing video games in it. Like, they have a problem with it. They think if you can be reading, you should be reading or going outside. I mean, yeah, fair enough. That's like, they are both like
valid statements.
But at the same time, like. Yes, everyone has the right to choose what makes them happy and do what they want. Whereas like people are just like, oh well, video games are bad, rap music is bad, GTA will cause you, they'll turn you into a murderer.
As much as like gamers, quote unquote, I don't like the term, as much as they will surround themselves with other gaming fans and think that gaming is very casual, it's really not. I still think that it's seen by a lot of people in a negative light. A lot of people don't see the positives on like what a video game can do for somebody, the kind of stuff like how it can inspire someone in the same way a movie can,
or like a play,
or a play or stuff. It's still seen as a lesser form of
art.
Yeah,
I suppose because it's newer.
Yeah,
and obviously
it's the most recent
because of like films is like basically an extension of like
they've been around
stage play and radios.
Yeah, it's been around forever. I guess it's because it's the most recent. People still haven't accepted. And to be fair, I can understand where a lot of them are coming from, because for every great artistic game, there is a lot of stupid, dumb ones out there. And even the gaming industry themselves, like a lot of people a lot of people who are quote unquote gamers, even they won't believe like it's a form of art or whatever. They'll just be like, yeah, it's dumb fun. You know, a lot of people that like stupid themselves and that. So it really depends. I think it's a minority of an already not big crowd.
I mean, yeah, I would say like obviously, yeah, there's for every good film, for every good game,
Yeah,
there's probably like a lot of rubbish ones. But that could be also argued with
Yeah.
like films, TV.
But the difference
like,
is
for every time you get like a Breaking Bad, you get EastEnders.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Oh my God.
the difference
Okay,
is,
I am going
you
to
know,
controversial,
the difference
so-
is,
sorry.
the difference is, you know, a video game isn't going to make the amount of. I don't think it's going to make the amount of like the top box office films of all time.
no,
Try
it won't make it
GTA
there.
5 for a size. That made money.
That made quite
Very-
a lot of money.
True, but there's nothing aiming more for the mainstream than a game like GTA 5. So.
True.
Yeah.
Like when you're aiming for the mainstream, and nobody's gonna look at GTA 5 and say that's a form of art. That's a really like amazing experience. People are like, it's dumb. I go around, I shoot people, I kill people.
There is a difference. There is a smaller difference. There's a difference between video games and art forms of video games. Video games as an
Yeah.
art form. So something like Uncharted 4 could be both an art form and a video game.
Yeah, because it's got
Because
story and a good
story,
solid gameplay. Yeah.
Characters and as much as I hate saying the word, the graphical design, you know, the levels, the everything. It's all an art form that blends together to make a coherent game and story.
Yeah.
But it's also a video game because you are almost an invincible American that goes around and shoots British
With
people,
Wolverine,
foreigners,
like a regenerative, like
with regenerative health.
with regenerative powers.
Yeah, my point on that is that, yeah, as I was saying, unlike film, where a lot of people just tend to accept that they can be masterpieces or whatever, video games have still not got to that point yet.
It's a good thing. That's a good point, because like thinking about when was The Exorcist, like as a film?
The 70s,
The
right?
70s. There was massive controversy around. About it's a moral panic type thing. It's like, oh, should this be released to the public type? It was that kind of thing, and I feel like we're now going through that with games.
I mean, yeah, no, if you think about it, yeah, you're
So
right.
that means it's going to get to a point then where it is like super mainstream.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because if you think about it,
But I mean, hold on, even films are still today getting criticised for a lot of controversial content, aren't they?
I mean, still
Not as much as video games.
Not as much,
because
no.
video games have a negative rep behind them, not only because of what they do, but because the people that are into video games are seen as like
Oh, kids,
lesser by society.
Yeah. Although you can also.
To be fair, I don't blame you.
I
for
think
thinking
all
that.
media has had this at some point. Like obviously with written, you know, like plays or poems. Initially they get like chastised or
Yeah.
basically just criticized massively. Like when Shakespeare wrote his work, it was like, it's of the devil, it's all,
Yeah.
wrong and immoral and sinful. And then it came super popular and was fine. Then you probably had like, the TVs, gets into your head, mental programming, sit too close to it, you get square eyes.
What?
It's like an old wives' tale. I remember hearing that when
Okay.
it was quite funny actually. But yeah, no. But each form of media has always had this issue, and I think gaming, since it's still relatively new and growing, it will have this for a while, and then I think it'll just get accepted unless something critical happens.
I think it'll take longer for it to get accepted because I think the people in the gaming community themselves aren't doing themselves any favors either.
No, they're not. No,
They're not like, for everyone that's like, I imagine, us four play video games and we're fine, but then there's some like really elitist people out there who are like super stuck up about it. It's like, people are just going to see you as a as a loser. So
And it's the way the gamers are portrayed to the general public. Look at PewDiePie. Look at that. Like,
Bringing it back.
He's a gamer. That's how he shouted the N-word on a stream. Like he's an idiot, but like he's not a racist. But he's being portrayed to the general public as a
And to be
racist.
fair, like if you go on like any of these like multiplayer games, Gmod or Battlegrounds, PlayerUnknown, you're probably gonna hear a lot worse.
Yeah, you're probably
You're gonna COD, where it just
gonna be-
racist, sexist, everything under the sun.
Yeah, so I can actually, even though I think the controversy in getting mad that a game's doing it, blaming the artist, I think that's bad. But if you want to get mad at the community and the gaming fan base, that's fine, because
that's legitimate.
there is a lot of bad people in there.
It's because a lot of them are quite young, so that they don't have the social filters. This is what I shouldn't
Even
say.
the ones that are like 20.
Yeah.
It's still,
I mean, remember, it was only about 6 years ago when YouTubers used to spout out, sexually explicit stuff on YouTube. KSI used to do it back in the 2012.
Oh yeah, well, and then nowadays they try. And
Yeah,
cover
nowadays you do that
You
stuff
can't
and you
do
wouldn't
that.
do that now.
Yeah.
But that leads us, it's a nice segue into our next topic, which is talking about 2017 in review.
Just as a whole.
Yeah, just as a whole.
Oh, whoa.
But one of the big things that we, before I ask you about your 2017 as how you experienced it, so one of the big new things that came out recently was the YouTube Rewind. And I want to hear your opinions on that. Yeah, you guys go ahead. And then
Well, we'll do a description of it first. Like, for anyone who doesn't
yeah,
really
because
understand what it
I
is.
haven't watched it.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Essentially, every year, YouTube as the company does like a video that celebrates its top creators. I did air quotations, like you could see that you can't see them, but it's top creators. But they're not really. It's essentially like
who's the most marketable?
Yeah, it's like, oh, look how great we are as a company. Whereas this year, they've done this. They've tried to do the same thing, but it's very controversial in the way it's done about. Because if you don't understand the YouTube scene for this year, essentially, YouTube essentially runs by advertising. Companies advertise on videos, but then from a couple of controversies, essentially that stopped happening now. There's a whole bunch of videos that people don't want to advertise on, like ISIS videos or people shouting racist stuff. People don't want to advertise on that. So then YouTube tried to fix that by essentially blacklisting a load of things. So a lot of good content creators who absolutely fine what they were doing, they lost their income. But then there's a whole massive controversy of how terrible the life of YouTube has gone this year. But then at the same time, the end of the year, YouTube Rewind, they have promoted content creators who make terrible content, who aren't good people, and some who disappeared for 5 months of the year. In terms of KSI, he didn't upload a video for 5 months, and then when he came back, it was to start dissing everyone who had connections with. And yet he was a massive part of the video.
I recognise two people. I recognise KSI and I recognised Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul. Oh,
that was they're the only two people I recognise. Who was everyone else on that?
The Rewind this year arguably was better than last year, but and that's a massive but.
I'd say it's worse. I think it's worse.
But
way worse.
Well, for me, I'd argue it's somewhat better than last year, because last year I didn't know anyone. I looked at it and I didn't know anyone in it, and it had terrible music, terrible just everything.
Nezar's favourite person, Matt Pat, was on it.
Yeah, no.
Matt Pat was on it. Wait, what? But yeah, so this year's Rewind, as from my own perspective, I say it's arguably better than last year's, but it is steeped in so much controversy.
Yeah.
They they wouldn't feature YouTubers like PewDiePie, who's been a staple of YouTuber since the records began, but because of his controversial outslurs earlier in the year, he wasn't asked by YouTube to join. However, they featured Jake Paul, a man who is known for bullying, for stealing money, for causing controversy on YouTube, for lying, for harassing people. They featured him on there because he brings in money. They featured his brother on there.
Look, to be fair, that's not. Logan Paul's alright.
Logan Paul is alright,
but
Jake
Paul
is controversial. They didn't feature iDubbbz. They featured YouTubers again that they think were marketable. Now Jake Paul, again, no offense to the guy, but he has caused massive controversy.
Yeah.
VidCon was a thing, and he said, "Oh, I've hidden stacks of money somewhere in VidCon." A swarm of children started running around VidCon, hurting people, trying to find Jake Paul or this large stack of money. Jake Paul utilized the hurricane disasters in America as a way to promote his videos as if he was saving people. But the thing is, if you're saving people, don't make a video about it. Just save people. Just do it for the sake of saving people. Doesn't need to be a video. But of course, why not? Because it makes him seem like the good guy. Because every time he's in some controversy, he comes back, does something that makes him seem like the good guy. They featured him. KSI, again, didn't upload videos for 5 months. Once he came back, started attacking people. Part of this massive grand scheme of bubble of content that he was part of his album called Distractions, where he was just doing it for fake. He was fake. It was all fake. And I looked at the Rewind and I was surprised by what they featured in there, because victims of Jake Paul were plastered right next to Jake Paul himself. There's two Spanish brothers that were bullied by him, called the Martinez twins, and they were in the video standing right next to him, very close to him, and very close to Team 10.
Oh.
The organization that he operates.
Oh my God.
Again, it was steeped in controversy, and my other argument with this is that it again featured people that aren't YouTubers. So even in the first 30 seconds, you see Lele Pons, who's a Viner who's produced, who went from Vine onto YouTube to produce at best normal content. You know, she produces sketches, comedy content, but she's paid for this by companies to produce this content. She doesn't produce it out of the kindness of her own heart. She produces it because she's paid for it from the videos we've seen. And she's in there. And then there's a bunch of other people that aren't YouTubers, that aren't the TV stars. I think, was it Jamie Oliver or Stephen Colbert? One of them was in there. They're not YouTubers, they're TV presenters. They shouldn't be on YouTube to begin with. They have their platform. Let them have it. Don't come to YouTube. We don't want you on YouTube. We don't. Because that's not where you create. That's not me personally. Okay, it just really riles me up. This is Fritz's rant. I'm finally ranting because this is the last show of the year. I don't want you on YouTube, Stephen Colbert. You have your TV show. You can upload your clips on YouTube, but don't think you're a YouTuber. Don't think you're one of the people who build up a platform for several years for it to be where it is today. Of course, Google screwed us over because once money gets involved into it, then Google started hurting content creators, started making everything terrible for us. And there are people that didn't even want to be in the YouTube Rewind. That's how bad it is, because YouTube didn't fix the problem. YouTube as it is right now is a mess. It's a genuine, uncontrollable mess that Google is trying to sweep under the rug, like saying, oh, we're sorting this out. YouTube Kids is a mess. YouTube itself is a mess. Content creators, how to earn money, monetization, the content you can produce, what you can say, what you can do, everything. It's a mess.
It's just been getting progressively worse every year. I genuinely believe that.
So what? Why would you do the Rewind? To me, just showcases that YouTube doesn't care about its content creators. It will plaster you on for like a second or less than a second, half a second, to say you're marketable or this is a community that we've built up over years. But in all honesty, it's just to make shareholders and stakeholders seem happy, just show them that, hey, this is how we look. You know, we're squeaky clean. You know, we're nice, we're friendly. Why don't you come onto our platform? No. YouTube, sort yourself out, please. From Google, leave. Exit the room and let YouTube be YouTube.
I cast you out.
It's terrible because, as I've been saying, YouTube has been getting worse every year. The people they promote as the top people of their channel are all garbage. Subjective, I know.
Subjective.
But it really is. It's getting to the point where I see, over 1 million subscribers, probably not a good channel.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't even pick it based upon how many subscribers or views you have. They pick you up on how marketable you are.
Yeah, because what I've noticed from all the people you've talked about, they may be controversial on the site, but in terms of outside influence,
bringing in money to the
they bring
website.
In money.
Yeah.
And like people like iDubbbz, people like PewDiePie have been clearly not politically correct. They're politically incorrect, and because of that, they're not marketable.
But they started out as YouTubers.
Exactly, and they both probably brought in a lot of views and a lot of money, but they're not marketable because
the thing is, iDubbbz and PewDiePie only changed the content of their channel once they had already gotten safe and secure with their popularity by appealing to the mainstream to begin with. By doing generic gaming videos. Then once they got a few million, bam, change your content. They're stuck now. They're not going to leave now.
You want
to see how squeaky clean YouTube tries to promote itself? Every day, just open up the trending tab and have a look. That's all you need.
It's all gaming related to content as well. And I do like a lot of gaming stuff on YouTube.
What, the trending tab?
No, well, I'm just talking about the most popular stuff.
Oh yeah, the most popular stuff.
A lot of it is going to be like gaming stuff, and I get that gets views, but they're promoting the wrong kind of gaming channels as like the most popular on that. Like nothing that offers anything new or any kind of like analysis or insight on the game or anything like that. It's cringy videos of somebody screaming out of a horror video game.
Depends, because there are YouTubers in Rewind that actually, like Vanos Gaming, who produce good content.
Or like CNanners.
Don't know. I don't know.
Was CNanners in it?
He wasn't in it. No, he wasn't in it. I
don't know anyone you're talking about, so clearly they're not that popular.
Oh my god, they were so good back in the day.
I know Vanos Gaming.
There we go.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
I only know who that is because Deji calls all the sidemen that, despite the fact that's a terrible comparison in the diss track. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
That's how I watch YouTube.
So as I was saying, YouTube for ages have been promoting the wrong kind of like gaming related content on their channel in terms of what's getting. I mean, granted, maybe it's not necessarily YouTube's fault. Obviously, it's down to the individual that
advertisers.
Yeah, and those channels that are appealing to the most lowest common denominator. Matt Pat.
Oh my. Ooh. Oh dear. Okay,
so
shots
obviously stuff like that's going to get popular because I don't have to put thought or effort into a video. I can just release something gaming, make a clickbait, thing, and that's going to get popular. And YouTube don't care. That's like, oh, that's one of our boys right there.
It's our boy.
Yeah.
Right.
So, that's what I'm saying. A lot of those people in YouTube Rewind specifically, the most talentless, hacks that I've ever gone on that. And I think that's why I think 2017 is the worst one. 16 was bad. 15 was bad. 17 is the worst, bar none, because it had the most amount of people I didn't care for, didn't know, and anyone I did know were garbage, genuinely.
2012 and 13, I think
Damn.
2013, 2014 were probably arguably the best ones. But okay, let's move on to that. And then I just want to ask about your 2017 in review. So what do you think of the year in general? What has been some of the best moments? What have been some of the worst? Matt, let's start with you.
No, come back to me. I've no idea.
Okay,
I'll start. 2017 as a whole, a lot of bad didn't necessarily happen in comparison to 16. That being said, I think 16 was a more interesting year. I think a lot of stuff, there wasn't a lot of interesting stuff that really happened in 2017. Obviously, a lot of celebrity deaths didn't happen. Thank God. 17 in general has been alright. It's been okay. It's been a decent year. For me personally, my first year of university last year, and that was a whole new experience, and that's been pretty good. It's been these past few months have been my favorite months of university, so I've been happy with that. It's been going positive. In terms of stuff that came out, in terms of video games, 2017 has been fantastic. One of the best years for me since 2013, maybe 2012, some of the big releases. So video games has been fantastic. I think in terms of media, a lot of good stuff happened too. Movies has been kind of weak this year, I'd say. It started off pretty strong near the beginning, but it's kind of summer. What happened to all the summer blockbusters? Summer was pretty dead, in my opinion.
Transformers 5.
What happened to,
Kingsman 2.
Yeah, you shouldn't expect fantastic films in summer because they're obviously popcorn flicks, but even then there was a lack of them. 2017 hasn't been. So yeah, in terms of 2017 in general, it hasn't been particularly memorable. Not for me, besides video games and the whole new experience of university as a whole. Yeah, it's just kind of, for me, 2017's just kind of been there, and I think 2018 is going to be a lot better.
Okay.
For me personally.
Reuben?
I don't know how to answer this question. It's good. It's good. I don't know. It's pretty good. It's just been a year.
It's just been a year.
That's how I feel.
It existed.
It happened.
It's been a year. A lot of good things. A lot of things. And yeah.
Things and stuff.
Things and stuff and things. And cake. My favorite. Honestly, if I was to break it down like Nezar did, I would say as individual, I've watched more films in the 2016 to 2017. Obviously, as last year was my first year too. Usually, I'd watch 3 films a year, but now it's gone up quite a lot. I'd watch one at springtime or Easter time, one in summer, and one in the Christmas period. But recently I've watched more films. I think I've watched more films in these couple of months than I have in a singularly. Films good. Games, I've played less games.
Yeah, because university. I'd agree with that. University's really had an effect on the amount of games I've been playing. Even though I've said 2017 has been one of my favorite years, I've also not played as many as I did back in 2013, 2012 because university has taken too much of my time.
Yeah, as it should.
Also,
As it should, yeah.
No, not just that. There's more appeal because we all live together. Going out with friends,
we go out.
Staying indoors, that's just how it is.
Yeah, we're more sociable and more active, I guess, in some way. Yeah,
that's one of the best things for 2017 for me personally. Is I was way more social this year than I was in 2016.
In terms of media, the meme compilations are pretty good.
Mainstream music's still garbage.
What?
Mainstream music's still garbage.
Oh yeah,
when hasn't it been?
I haven't listened to the radio much recently. Maybe
But Reuben, you're on the radio right now.
No, that kind of radio.
Oh yeah, once then, man's not hot happened.
Oh,
So
I
there you
mean,
go, meme compilations.
I
looking
mean
good.
that made a great addition to the meme compilations.
I met a lot of good people this year. That's another thing. 2017. In terms of the amount of friends I made like so many new ones and so many good ones, so many close ones. So that's a positive as well, especially to compare in comparison to 2016.
Yeah, I think I feel like especially the second half of this year, like from October the 1st onwards, like from when I came back to uni, like my end of uni year last year was pretty terrible with a lot of stuff that was going on with the people I was living with. And
probably the same. I would probably say the same.
Whereas
like
now,
the end of 2016 wasn't that interesting for me.
Whereas no, I don't mean 2016. I mean like May time.
No.
This
I would
academic
agree.
year.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Whereas some people, like people who went have come back. People who were there for too long have now gone. And then now I'm living with some really awesome new people. I've got closer with you guys. I feel like, I knew Fritz anyway, but I feel like I've spoken to maybe you.
Yeah.
I don't think I've spoken to Nezar before, but I've spoken to Reuben maybe once before. But it's like, I see these guys every day.
Yeah, but Matt's my neighbour.
Yeah, we live next door
now
to
the
each other.
neighbours. I think the first time we met, I was running down the corridor going,
Give me chicken tendies.
Yeah, obviously like my non-uni.
The
life is
banter
awesome.
has been the best it ever could be. I think we've stagnated at the top though. I think it's only going to get worse.
Oh no.
Oh, don't say that.
No.
Don't say that.
Yeah, no.
New memes must come out.
Don't worry.
It's good because it's just good, man. 2000, not 17 as a whole, but like these past few ones especially, because we all just live in the same block. If we want to see each other, we just walk.
We just knock on each other's doors. Go, hello.
Compare it to last year. If me and Reuben wanted to see each other, walk to the opposite end of the university.
Oh, we had to walk to the library.
Yeah.
This is that Loughborough experience they keep talking about when they sell the university to you. It's like, oh, you really feel like you're part of the community. Well, this is it. This is the community right here.
No, first year the community doesn't exist.
Oh yeah, first year no. You
Second
just
year
live
you
with
move
people.
together in your own rooms. You get your own. You get like your little squad together.
And
in a
by
little.
third year, you've really like.
And then-
my only big regret is that I didn't like join this year and last year. I didn't like join a society or anything to like stay with. I think that's probably my big negative. I do like the fact that I'm part of the radio show because that makes up for a lot of it.
What's
but
that?
Yeah.
I still think that maybe I should have joined a society or something. Found something to get invested in, get a hobby, something like that.
Well, we can do stuff like that next year. That's the thing, because it'll be another bazaar. Won't
Oh
there?
yeah.
My
A second chance.
My year started out quite weirdly actually because I wasn't here for the first half
You're
of the year.
in the Netherlands.
I was studying abroad in the Netherlands, so
Yeah.
for the first sort of half of my year, I was completely scared. I was alone in a foreign country. I was in an academic system. I had no idea how it operated, but I'd like to say that I grew because I was living by myself, not with people. I did have people, neighbors and stuff, but I didn't really talk to my neighbors. I talked more to people in like another block. But I'd like to say I grew in this year. I'd like to say I became a bit more independent. I managed to sort myself out a bit better, fix up my mental state a bit, although that's probably come crashing down since I returned to university. In regards to sort of once university started up again, since it's my final year here, it's been a bit tough, a bit here and there, finding the motivation to do work.
Yeah, it's final year.
It's
so
final year,
Yeah.
but
You've made a lot of good
work.
friends.
yeah, the people that I've met this year have definitely helped me out a lot, and I'm grateful for that. The hombres that I've met. I feel like I've explored a lot more as well. Like I've gone out a bit more, not gone out like party out. No, I mean like I've gone out and read more and looked around the bubble, the sphere that surrounds me, and I've settled myself into my own beliefs and thoughts that are obviously going to be questioned, and I'm more than welcome to be questioned on my thoughts and beliefs, but I feel like as a person I'm more open to talking to people, meaning chilling, having good times, but
playing obscene amounts of Mario Kart.
yeah, that too. If there is one thing I didn't do enough of, it's probably go outside and hang with people on the outside world. I think
I'd probably agree with that.
I
Same.
still have my hikikomori state. Like I'm struggling to go outside.
The what state?
It's basically when you trap yourself in your room, you don't go outside.
Self-isolation.
Yeah, self-isolation.
Weeb.
Oh, stop it, you.
Yeah. See, this is what I don't have that, of course, because I've got my fiance, and that's another good thing about this year. It's a year less until I'm getting married, so that's always awesome.
Congratulations to Matt.
Yeah, get hyped.
Man is hot.
We're all still
Man is hot.
single.
Get out.
Losers now.
No.
How dare
We
you?
enjoy
I love
our
this guy.
lives.
I don't.
But yeah, obviously, I'm not so much trapped inside a bubble because I get out to see her a lot.
Why don't you tell the story on this show and how you met your fiance?
Oh God, do
we
we
were
really
at school together.
Ah.
There you go. We kind of had
See,
like we had
Matt-
That didn't help me at all.
Matt's relationship gives me hope that there's actually like proper relationships in this world.
She's listening right now.
Oh, bless you, bless up, Amber.
Hello.
Bless you. You
She
do.
should be.
Matt, give some advice on how to get girls.
Oh, what the?
Half joking, half being serious. I'm
Don't
a
be on
sad
this
man.
radio show.
don't be on this radio show. No.
Dude, people are going to be impressed I'm on a radio show. Just say it.
Yeah, this is definitely going on my CV. I hosted a radio show. I'm just going to ignore the fact you guys were here. So,
Except I'm the one that controls everything here.
Yeah.
If he wanted to, he just mutes all your audio. I was on a radio
Matt
show.
is now
There's
gone.
no evidence of
Matt
it.
is
It
gone.
just sounds like you're talking to yourself.
I was on a radio show. I didn't say I was sane on the radio show.
See, Matt believes he's in power. Matt, say something right now.
About what?
He's gone. You can't hear him anymore.
Yeah. You've been deleted from the audio.
And now you return.
I'm
And
back.
No, but seriously, genuine advice. What would you say,
Oh my
man?
God. Wow, why are we here?
Oh my
Just to
goodness.
suffer.
It's 2017. There's a lot of single people
Goodness
out there.
gracious.
It's 2017. Anything is possible.
There's a lot of single people out there who don't want to be single coming into 2018.
We have to do our
so let's hear
ASMR
about
video
it.
now, don't we? Hello.
Oh, no,
Let's
stop.
hear about it.
I've only got one ear
ASMR.
active at the moment
ASMR.
in my headphones, so
Okay,
it's
Matt,
like.
Matt, go ahead. Yeah.
Tell your boy.
Yeah, what you want advice? Well, I don't know. I was kind of, I
Just
was lucky enough to find someone awesome at the right time.
What terrible advice.
I know. I can't. There's nothing I could. Like, I didn't deserve anything. And the awesome stuff that's happened. I didn't.
Oh
deserve
no,
it.
that's
It's kinda
sweet.
Like,
Stop.
yeah, no, you like. I don't know. It just happens, and like when it happens, and when you know it's good, it's good. So
Aw.
I feel like
What a sweetheart.
once knowing Fritz's situation, I'm gonna say
Uh-oh.
one piece of advice is like, don't be afraid to talk to people.
Yeah.
Like.
What does that mean? Objection.
Fritz, you know what that means.
You
Hold
know
it.
what that means.
You
don't
know what
you?
that
I think,
means.
What do you mean?
boy.
Oh, don't be afraid to talk to people. I spoke
Guys,
to people.
I would like to be excluded from this narrative.
You are included in this narrative. Don't you dare.
Yeah, but Reuben cares the least about getting in a
That is
relationship,
true.
so-
Even though he's the one who's the most time constrained out of all of us.
Reuben is in a relationship with his Bane mask.
Him and his memes. Ruben cares about
Yeah.
nothing more than his coursework and his memes.
And
Coursework and memes are
And
my
his Vine compilation.
bloodstream. My bloodstream, dude. My soul and my essence.
Matt, what do you mean talk to people more often? What's
Oh,
this?
this is like you see someone who you think's cute. That doesn't like if you know you've got something in common with them, or even if you don't, just get a go.
That's his advice to you. That's the advice
Okay,
right there.
that's good advice.
He had
but
to
that's-
utilize me as a failure
the-
to show you the truth.
Exactly.
The talking has never been an issue for me.
Oh, I'm sauce boss. Sauce boss.
You can do, yeah, well, thank you.
There are other, I mean, again, I don't know. There are other things you could do. Let's hope that 2018 is the year when you finally progress towards meeting someone.
Yeah,
well, we can say the same thing to you.
And I will,
Don't be calling other people out.
You're a handsome young man, Fritz.
You
You
are.
can do it.
You are with an excellent
don't
radio
worry, guys.
voice.
We can all cheese on together. I'll achieve a new level of memehood next year.
Yeah. It's like well, I genuinely
Is
don't
this our
understand
2018 goals?
I
Then?
genuinely don't understand why Fritz is still single. I mean, like, look
Yeah,
at him.
neither do
look
I.
at him and listen to
What
him.
a weirdo.
He's amazing.
Stop before I shut all of you down.
Yeah, so it's like everyone who's listening who knows me, and Fritz, like they know like my serious love for him.
If there's any young single girls out there,
Oh
Fritz
my
is your boy.
Lord.
And so is Nezar.
Get rid of the young.
Oh yeah,
part of
me
that.
of course.
So is Nezar.
Single girls of age.
Come to me.
We won't specify that.
Let me just state that the opinions voiced on this radio show are those of the people on
Yeah.
the show, not of
Whatever,
the
it's the
radio
last show of the year.
But we're coming back
what are they
after
gonna do?
Christmas, aren't we?
Everyone's gonna forget.
I mean,
depends
depends
what
how
you say.
memorable it is.
We're gone for a month.
It depends how memorable it is. They might remember, be like, oh yeah, what was the last one about? Oh yeah, Nezar said about getting.
Don't worry. I'll fix this. And on that bombshell,
all right, Jeremy.
I stole Fritz's part.
And on that bombshell,
It's time to go.
I think we better wrap it up there.
Yes.
So thank you so much for an amazing year or an amazing 6 months or how many months.
2 episodes for me.
Thank you all. No, seriously, even those 2 episodes are still 2 good episodes.
beautiful.
Yeah, boy.
Two of our best. Genuinely, I'd say that.
Thank you.
A four-person party, I think, works the best.
Thank you so much, Matt.
You're welcome.
And I hope that you'll come back in the new year as well.
I
You
will.
better come back.
When I'm here, when I'm not in Cambridge, I'll be here.
Bless up.
Well, I'll try to be. See what
Bless
happens.
up, big man Matt. Remember, man is hot. Mate, actually, yeah, he is
Matt
hot.
is hot.
Matt is hot. Boom.
How about we all
Skia.
nominate? How about it's 2017? We all nominate our meme of the year.
Meme of the year.
Meme of the year. Okay.
Ooh, that's a god.
I don't think I don't know.
That's a long one.
The one meme that you saw,
I
it
can't
doesn't
remember.
necessarily have to be from 2017 as long as you saw it in 2017. So
I
even if you
don't
watched a video
remember.
online, an old video, like something like that. Let's talk about that. Sounds like something good to go out on.
I think We Are Number One is probably my meme
Yeah.
because of the fact that
We
it
Are
brought
Number One.
attention to Robbie Rotten, to Robbie the actor, and he was
Yeah.
going through cancer at the time.
Yeah, no,
So
I'd
it
highlight
helped.
that.
It
That's
helped
mine.
him.
I'd
through.
probably highlight that too.
Yeah, We
was
Are
a good
Number One.
I
Was
was
a good
completely
meme.
unaware of this one while it was happening. I don't know how I avoided it.
We Are
We
did
Are
you know
Number
about
One
We,
is
I know of it. I know of it
legitimately-
now.
But you didn't know
but
about the actor.
No,
Yeah.
no, I kind of understood. I was aware of it, but I didn't really I never engaged with it.
well, there's just lots of parodies. around.
It's like
Yeah.
one of the few things where it actually has like a really nice story behind it, so it's hard not to like the videos.
Yeah.
Also, I've not seen a lot of necessarily like low quality ones either, so
Even though Man's
Yeah.
Not Hot will be like just like
Oh, no,
my
yeah,
London thing. He's straight up my London
For
thing.
me, Man's Not Hot is the Man's Not Hot.
Initially,
is the one. I love
initially I
that.
didn't like it because it was like, I just
Oh,
it's just
so
one of them songs.
just
But
came out of nowhere.
it's just a good meme.
I
enjoy it for its meme value.
man's not hot. Clearly, just doesn't have lasting power.
I think
It's lost, dude.
Yeah, I
still
know.
going.
I'm not gonna remember it in a few months.
I
so-
will.
Yeah, it's true.
I still
Matt's
think-
gonna quote it.
I still think it's. I think outside of the.
Hey,
meme,
it's
I
not gonna
think
out.
It's, a good
It's not gonna
song.
outlast. We Are Number One.
Very few things will.
Yeah.
outlast
How about
it.
worst meme of the year?
Worst. There's so
The
many.
Italian
worst.
hand. The Italian hand thing killed me.
Oh, the
Yeah.
spicy, the one with
What,
the
Salt-
No,
Salt
no,
Bay?
Not Salt Bay. Not Salt Bay. There's the Italian thing. It's like, oh, this like. That it was. it's
Salt
such a-
Bay's
such a
bad too.
meme.
The hot dog was bad.
Any SpongeBob meme was
Oh
bad.
no, I forgot the hot dog. I love that
I
hot dog.
hate
Dancing
that.
hot
That
dog.
was-
No,
that
mine
was-
mine was the bird
Which
with
bird?
the purple
Which
one.
bird?
Trash.
Oh, you mean the trash dog? That was the Facebook one. That was terrible
Which
as well.
Yeah,
which
'cause it's
bird?
like-
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Trash dog.
What is this?
It was terrible.
What is this?
Um,
Why-
I'm,
why
I'm,
is it-
I'm trying to think. Worst meme of the year.
SpongeBob, Pepe.
Well,
I mean, SpongeBob is overkill.
SpongeBob is overkill, but it depends how you swing it because it's still. Remember, it's a TV show, so you can swing it in a different way. And like that
It
Ace
will still-
Attorney one I sent you, I find that really.
How about
funny.
ear rape? That was a terrible one.
Oh, the deep fried memes.
Or with like bass
Deep fried-
boost the
bass
frame
boost
thing.
deep fried
Yes.
memes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, are you
Yes,
just talking?
they're
Are you
good,
just talking
they're
about ear rape videos
They're
in
good,
general?
not bad.
Well,
Things that like you watching.
I find ear rape pretty funny.
I hate
people,
them.
people who are listening who don't understand what that term far more instant. It's like literally it's a song they'll probably boost the bass up on it. So
They'll
like it'll,
turn up the volume, smack it up.
Eardrum split.
Yeah,
It's
no, but
nothing to
I've
do
seen
with what
this
it sounds
year
like.
for me. I've seen just from Trey and Reuben just sending me just funny videos like Ocean
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
The Ocean Man one is the best one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it is
Yeah,
stupid
it's a
because
good one.
it's really simple because
And
it's like, oh, we made the noise louder, but it catches you off guard. It makes you
Yeah.
laugh.
And I'm pretty sure that Pepe will win most controversial meme of the year.
Pepe's been around way longer.
Pepe
than
was-
It was
2017.
it was been
Yeah.
around, but it's controversial
No,
this year.
Pepe's big year was 2016, easily.
I'd say
during the-
20. I'd say
during-
early. I'd say 2015.
No, but during the election, during the American election night, that's when he kicked
Yeah,
off.
because then he became a symbol of hate, and it was like, whoa.
A symbol of hate.
He did.
Like, yeah, according, yeah.
Yeah,
it was
yeah, I
like,
know, I know.
whoa. Okay.
And then,
Right.
Nice. So
And
yeah.
okay,
yeah.
again on that bombshell.
Oh, not another bombshell.
So thank you again to Matt for joining us for this last two episodes.
very welcome.
We will see you. Hope to see you again in future.
Ye-
Thank you, Reuben, for joining us as often as you could.
Thank you for having me.
Because-
It's been a good one.
Yeah, there has been.
Let's have another one. Another one.
Oh God, help me. GJ Khaled memes. And
DJ
Nezar, thank you for
Khaled.
being here every week because you've actually been here every
I've
single
been
week
here every
alongside
week.
me.
Thank
He's
you
the
very
OG.
much. I wasn't originally conceived for the show, by the way. Just want to put that out there. I inserted myself after Reuben.
Stop.
Reuben originally wasn't going to show up, so I was going to be his replacement
Yeah.
But
for
then-
that week. But then
But then I came along as well.
good
so-
stuff happened.
good stuff
Yeah.
happened because I guess we didn't know that we could go on like and talk, but I'm glad we did.
Yeah, if there's one thing I could say is that if you're afraid of something, if there's something that you haven't done or that if you're afraid like something you haven't done before, take a try at it, take a stab. Nezar was terrified about doing the show.
Yeah, I was really
the
nervous
first time, but
because
after he did
Yeah,
it,
no, both. Yeah, we were both like beforehand. We were like, what are we gonna say?
yeah.
What are we gonna say?
even listen back to the first show. I gradually get more confident as that one goes on.
Yeah.
And if the listeners want to join in on the
Try
conversation,
something new. Step outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, the things you'll regret are not the things. Don't regret the things you do. Regret. It's like, what is it? The worst kind of regret is the things you haven't done.
He's looking at me. I have no idea what he's trying to say right now.
The worst kind of regret.
regret the things that you did, but not the things that you know. No,
You
that's
miss
how it works.
100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I learned that in
then
the-
you go put yourself forward for the Russian election. See what happens.
Learned
My
that.
name is Reuben.
And
Welcome
from
to a racist radio show.
And from me to the listeners, thank you for listening throughout 2017. I hope you had a blast listening to all the shenanigans we got up to. We hope forward to seeing you again in 2018 with new stuff, with God knows what happens. But we hope you have a lovely Christmas, and we hope that we will hear you again sometime soon. So this has been Tea Time Talk for 2017. Over and out.
Have a Merry Christmas.